this is just a continuation of yesterday's FB Live, talking about the Industry 4.0 in Malaysia. So one of the things that I would like to share this afternoon is regarding our National IoT Strategic Roadmap, and what are the main actions that we need to take in order for us to move forward in 2019. Did you know that we have already launched National IoT Strategic Roadmap quite a number, about 2015. So it's nearly about 3 to 4 years ago. So the main mission of the National IoT Strategic Roadmap is actually to create that national ecosystem of IoT to make Malaysia as the regional IoT development hub, and we want to proliferate the usage and the industrialization of IoT, so that can become the new source of economic growth. We had that intention of making this outcome based on to increase the economy of Malaysia. We are expecting about 9.5 billion in 2020. We want to create more jobs, nearly about 14,000 jobs by 2020, and having a lot more indigenous technologies being developed by our Malaysian. So that is the outcomes. So there are three goals that we would like to create. One of them is having that IoT ecosystem, a very conducive one. Second, we want to strengthen the Malaysian technopreneurs, having the skills and capabilities to develop their own innovative products. And third, we want to make Malaysia as the regional development hub. So remember this, yesterday I did mention that we don't want to become only a consumer, we also want to become a producer of technologies. So if we want to jump forward into creating more jobs, we need to become the creators, we need to become the producers. So the short-term strategies is actually to transform the SMEs, and what we are looking at is that we have this Industry 4.0 assessment readiness activities, initiatives that are going to be this year. We have a lot of this digital transformation activities going on in many of the companies, and also we like to look at previously, if I recall, there is this IoT Malaysia concept where we have a business a platform that can match between the supply and demand. We want to have a framework which is open so that people can develop solutions on a common framework, and even open data. So these are some of the strategies that have been put forward in 2014 or 2015. That was quite some time ago. But the question is, how far have we achieved the goals of in IoT in terms of that strategic roadmap? So many people have been questioned, so maybe a lot of industries. I have to admit that I'm one of the parties, individual that have contributed to that strategic roadmap, but there are also many other individuals who have been also contribute to the roadmap. I think what we fail to see is that the execution process, the ownership of the activities and the strategies, and which ministries that should champion this. So this is something that have been ongoing and a big issues whenever we launch a roadmap like this. So you need a champion that can drive forward in making things execution a reality. Because a roadmap is just a roadmap, a framework is just a framework unless you put contents and some activities and action items. So you need a champion to make it a reality. So I have some steps or recommendations that if you want to move forward and risk of not being left behind, when many other countries have been working on their roadmaps, we should also have these action items being put forward. So when we talk about IoT, you can't run away from a big implementation like smart city. So we have seen smart city initiative in Malacca, in Johor, in Penang, and even in Selangor. And now even Sarawak have their own digital Sarawak initiatives. So, but because of the so many stakeholders, you have difficulty to move forward. So you need a champion actually to break down all this barrier. So one of the things that is required is to appoint a chief smart city officer, I would say that. So this CSCO, the chief smart city officer, will take the blueprint and or the safety framework and turn that into reality. So this guy must have a very clear vision. You allow him to have that authority and to move forward. So he must be able to close any gaps from different silos, break all these barriers that he encountered, and drive to make it happen. And we have seen that cities depends a lot of, to make meaningful or derive insights about the smart city itself. You need to have data, and data is everywhere and being owned by different departments. So data actually in smart cities, you cannot keep this in silos. IoT will be a failure if you are not able to aggregate all this data together. And thirdly and finally is that other industries should also help contribute into this equation, because the desire and passion must also come not only from the city champion themselves, the smart city, but also from the industries and the people themselves. Smart city requires smart leaders and smart citizens, right? So when you want to build smart cities, you can invest in terms of billions of dollars, but the problem is you might waste a lot of your money into the infrastructure. We have seen a lot of smart cities being built, and 90% or 80% of the whole infrastructure is actually a physical infrastructure. So where is the intelligent part? Where's the software part? So only it's about 10 to 20% of the budget is being allocated on making it smart. So that will be left somewhere behind. So, but if you want to use that amount of budget, what kind of solutions that you want to make it intelligent, for example? So normally, if you want to try, you have to think differently. So think like a startup when building smart cities. So we don't want that the investment for this whole smart city deployment that is so huge that can be easily become a white elephant, and a lot of times this is what happened. So Ismail, you did ask this question, where is the best smart city in the world? So surprise, surprise, people have mentioned that Singapore is #1 in the world. And they have this, Korea have this smart city called Songdo, but it's somehow it's not one of the best smart city, even though they have planned it well, but it was not fully utilized. Okay. So many initiatives will not be sustainable if the idea is just to get the limelight. So you launch a product, but the energy will quickly disappear, right? So you launch it big, and suddenly no one is going to use it. So use this, what we call the minimum viable city approach. In other means, we call it minimum viable product, MVP, but in the smart city, I call this a minimum viable city, MVC approach. You build, you measure, and then you learn from the experience or the deployment. And from there, you can scale it easily, because you understand how it works, how people embrace new technologies, and how the culture, the regulatory around them accept, and making sure that it is also a safety for the citizens. So what I feel is that the government must actually allocate fund for pilot trials, And we have seen some of these smart city initiatives in Malaysia. For example, we have seen Selangor and Penang are trying to do that. So it is good because once you have this fund for pilot trials, you allow younger people to be more creative in developing solutions. You can see very innovative products that even the older generation doesn't even think of, because the new generation, the Gen Y and the Gen Z, look at the city differently. They want to use their facilities differently. So experiment this within our own context, and then you will see how it's being accepted by Malaysian. Because a lot of times when you try to duplicate and copy from other countries, it doesn't work. They have different pain points, they have different culture, they have different people. In Malaysia, it's not Malaysians only living here. You might have other people from different countries. So the way they use our city resources are different. So smart city and IoT projects, I would say that this it will be an excellent enabler for IoT to be spurred. For local indigenous technology to be developed. You know, we can use a lot more local contents and local products. That's why yesterday I mentioned about supporting the Malaysian products. Okay? You don't have to import everything from overseas. So, and the thirdly is that my recommendation is to have these new policies and enforcement. These are very key. So imagine when cars are mandatory to be equipped with sensors. Then you have connectivity, you have GPS, security maintenance. If there is anything happen, information will be sent from the car when there is accident happen to the insurance companies or to the police and all that. Imagine if all the factories are being equipped with sensors that attached with environmental sensors that will measure the air quality index, so that it will be and continuously monitored. There's no violations. So imagine if you can actually reduce the medical costs by allowing a lot of your employees to wear wearables, health wearables that can be continuously monitored, ensuring that they meet the number of steps every day, maintaining their health, living a good lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, I would say. So with that kind of regulatory, suddenly you will see that so many sensors, IoT devices are being deployed in the transportation, in the factories and offices and all that. So we have been talking about 20 billion devices by 2020. So where are they? In Malaysia, for example, how many devices per person? So mainly people say that the devices are mainly from mobile phones, but what we want is that more devices are being deployed. You are having a wearable device, you have sensors in your car, in your house, in the building, so on and so forth. So with that, thank you very much. I think in the afternoon, not many will be listening to this FP Live. Hopefully, I think the best time will be early in the morning. So thank you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.